you guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test. Test.
Test.
Test. Test.
Yep. Well, speaking of monumental musicians and music in general, so Nick, you had an interesting
Yes.
question that you were thinking of. Why don't you pose that question, sir?
So I'll just keep it vague until I unveil my answer. But the other day,
Sure.
I, sometimes when I'm done listening to an album or something on Apple Music, it'll go through kind of like your algorithm of what kinds of things you like, and it'll just start throwing songs at you that are similar to what you just finished, stuff you might like, so on and so forth. So I come across a song of a band that I know very well, that I love very much, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't really it kind of occurred to me that I'm like, I just decided I was going to go through this particular artist's entire catalog. And as I'm listening to their albums from the very first one that debuted in like the early to mid 80s, all the way up to a band that is still to this day presently making music, they are iconic, they are original. And as I'm listening to them and I'm so familiar with so many of their songs, I go, this is not a band that's in heavy rotation to me, and I don't know why. Like, I love them. I know I love them. And every time I listen to their music, I really appreciate it. But it's just like, I've got my bands that are older and classic to me and mean like Pearl Jams, my Kisses, my Ramones, my things like are always in heavy rotation. They're always, just listening to different albums and things like that. And this is a band that, I certainly is maybe not to that level for me, but a rung below or right around there that I really love. And I'm like, for whatever reason, I don't think about him as much, and I don't listen to him as much. So the idiot inquiry or the question is, who is a band that, like what I just described, that you really love and appreciate, and every time you hear the band, you know so much by them, you know a lot of their music, and you love them. Every time you listen to them, you love them, and puts you in a good mood. But for some reason, you just don't think about them as much, or whatever. That they're not at the forefront of your playlists. So let's give flowers to those bands today. So would you like
Go
to
ahead.
start, or should I?
No, you go,
So
you go right ahead.
my band that prompted this question was, do you have any guesses? Given the time frame that I gave, they're presently making music to this day. Their first album came out in, I want to say, like 85, 4, somewhere around there. They are, I'll even give you some, they are a heavily, they've got a lot.
I'm going to guess right now.
Yeah.
Queensryche.
It is not Queensryche.
Okay.
It is not Queensryche, but that is a very good guess. Queensryche is in a more regular rotation for me than even this band. I will give you one last hint that's a pretty good one. Might be a dead giveaway, might not be. A lot of funk influences. Heavy funk influences.
85. Run DMC?
Nope.
No. Okay, go ahead.
So it is, for me, the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Again, love them. Grown up with hearing their music. I know, obviously, all the songs that everyone knows on the radio, and then a bunch more. I've had many of their albums over the years. For whatever reason, I feel like I don't make enough of a point to listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I know a lot of their stuff. So the other day, I was just, Other Side has always been one of my favorite ones off of the Californication record. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take a couple days at work, and while I'm doing stuff and got my earbuds in, I'm just going to run through the whole catalog of the Chili Peppers. And they actually, the first album I recall hearing from them was Mother's Milk. So I think that's the earliest. They had like 2 or 3 albums out before that I'd never heard, and are very early hip hop, funk inspired and stuff like that. Very interesting. And that's the thing. One of the things that I really love about them is like, they're so unbelievably unique. And them. Anthony Kiedis' voice, and Flea's bass, and there are hallmarks to their sound that is, I feel like it's no one can replicate it. And there might be bands that you would go, if you like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you would also like these types of bands as well. But at the same time, no one sounds like them. No one. Like, I wouldn't listen to a band and be like, oh man, they sound a lot like the Chili Peppers. No, I could be like, if you like this, you'd probably also like the Chili Peppers, but nobody sounds like them. And I don't know how exactly that is. But but yeah, man, like I love how through the years their sound has changed so much, and to this day they're still putting out albums. They just put out a new album, I think this year even. Um, and I don't know, they're just they're incredible. They're still doing it. Their music is unique. I've never once heard anyone really like they're almost kind of universally appreciated. Like I've never heard people like call them out for like selling out or like changing their sound, but undoubtedly their sound changes like all the time. Like it's from record to record. It's just kind of different sounds and yet somehow still unique and authentic to them. So I figured I would give the flowers to the Red Hot Chili Peppers because yeah, they're just one of those bands. Every time I listen to them, I'm like, God, I love them, and I don't know what it is. They're just not in heavy rotation for me. But when I do listen to them, like every fucking time, it's so good. So the Chili Peppers were the band that brought that up. So do you have a band like that, Brian, that you
That's a good one.
kind of gets pushed off to the far sets of your mind, but every time you hear them, you're like, God, I do love them, and I love everything about them, and they're awesome.
Yeah, I there's an older band, and I have not went through and listened to their catalog either, and you're inspiring me to do that as well. But it's the same type of deal. Every time I hear a song, I smile. I enjoy it because it's such a unique sound and the vocals. I'm not saying they're great vocals, but it's a unique vocal. You know exactly who it is the second that he starts singing. I want to give you Motorhead. How about that, sir?
Oh yeah, that is a good one. That is a
You
very
know,
good one. Yep.
the great Lemmy. It's like every song that I hear, it's like, man, there's no question that it's Motorhead. It's good. He had that unique, this is the way that I sing. That's it. Take it or leave it.
Yep.
And it's just solid. It's just a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just every time it's one of those things. It's the same type of deal. I hear one, I'm just like, man, why don't I go back and listen to the entire albums and start working through that catalog? Got to do it, man. But that's one of the first bands that popped in my head when you posed that question. So
yeah, that's a great answer because that's another one that like, and guaranteed you're gonna find new songs that you love that you're like, oh man, because you already like their sound, you already like the vibe that they bring to the table, but there's tracks that you've never heard before that are out there that you're like, you're just these hidden gems that you don't even know about yet, new favorites. I love that shit. That's so awesome. Because that's a really good pick because there again, you could put them into a genre or what. I mean, I would say Motorhead heavy metal, but with strong punk influences, right? Like strong punk.
That's fair. Yeah, they're
punk.
definitely not speed metal for sure. No, they're not thrash metal. No. Yeah.
But definitely like a punk undertones to their music. And because his voice is so unique and of its own ilk, like there's no mistaking them. No one sounds like them. You'd like if you like Motorhead, you'd also like this band, but you wouldn't be like they sound like them. Like only Motorhead sounds like Motorhead.
That's right. That's exactly it.
Yep.
Zennial Dean, Gen X Brian, Millennial Nick. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe.
Ham grape.